Hi, good morning. We're here with Will Jarrat from Waltons Mill Shop. How you doing, Will?
Very well, thank you, Mike. Yourself?
Yeah, really well, thank you. Thank you very much for joining us today. Looking forward to getting to know a little bit more about you and your business. So to start things off, if you could tell us, a little bit about who you are, what it is that you do, and how long you have been doing it for, please.
Well, I run a retail shop selling soft furnishing fabrics. It was set up about 35 years ago, originally in Harrogate. So we're now in Boroughbridge. And it was set up originally by my mother. And then I took over about 20 years ago. And we sell soft furnishing fabrics, trimmings, cushions, accessories, etc. to the general public generally. I do some contract work with pubs, pub chains, and sort of hotels and things like that. But generally, we're focused on retail to the general public.
Brilliant, thank you. So, what makes you kind of different from other people out there?
Fundamentally, as a business model, what makes us different is that we hold stock of the fabrics that we sell and the trimmings that we sell, etc. So people come to us to see the fabric on the rolls, so they can touch and feel and see the colours, etc. The great majority of people sell from books, where people have small samples to see. You can get a general idea of it, but here people can see big lengths of it. It's very hard to visualize fabric, so they can borrow show lengths, etc., have a look at them at home, see it on the roll in the shop, open it out, and make sort of more informed decisions that way. So that's fundamentally what makes us different to other fabric shops.
Brilliant. So in terms of your is it 20 years you mentioned before, 30 years that
no, the shop's been going for about 35 years now.
35.
I've been working here for about 27 years. I originally trained as a barrister and then decided not to go into law, and went back into the shop as a sort of safety net job for me to decide where I was going to go, and I ended up never leaving, which is often the way in business. And then I took the shop over about 20 years ago now.
So what's that journey been like for you in business? If you were to describe it in, say, some people call it a roller coaster, or
very much a roller coaster. I would say that in the past, sort of certainly the past 15 to 20 years, it's been obviously economically it's been very challenging at periods. The financial crisis in 2008, Brexit, COVID, you name it, everything, the Ukraine war, cost of living crisis, things keep on going on and on and on. So it's been challenging, but it's rewarding too. But it is constant. As a small business owner, you are constantly sort of hit by bumps on the road that you have to overcome, and it's been like that up and down for probably the last 15 to 20 years, really. Periods of significant spending, other periods of tightening belts. So it goes like that generally. Retail is either feast or famine, and it continue to be so, I believe.
You sound very experienced in it now over those 15 to 20 years that you've seen the highs and the lows, so you
completely
understand how to navigate them when they come, I guess.
Well, hopefully, but sometimes they throw you a complete curveball and you never know. So
but this is life, I guess. It's reflective of other scenarios as well, isn't it? There's always challenges or obstacles to work out how to overcome. And it's like the seasons, I guess, with autumn, winter, spring, and summer, and that kind of thing, cyclical.
Absolutely, but in the same way as the seasons, we used to have specific boom periods and flat periods, and that's totally changed now, and it's leveled out a lot more. Run up to Christmas is still much busier still, but the rest of the year has flattened out quite a lot. So sort of commercial conditions change as well. constantly.
So what does the future look like, do you think, as far as you can tell? And what do you see the challenges that you can forecast going ahead?
It's difficult because we've sort of entered into a period of sort of higher interest, etc. Been very fortunate with low interest rates and cheap borrowing, etc. recently. So retail's hard. Retail is very hard in the same way as hospitality is, and it can go through periods where it's harder than others. I think really it depends. It depends upon a lot on the media and how they portray everything, and on sort of people's how people feel about themselves and their circumstances at the time. I'm expecting it to be difficult for the next, well, certainly to the end of the year, and hopefully turning a corner next year. But as long as we provide the service and the product that people want, we should get through it. As a small business, sometimes it's easier to pull in your wings and to sort of cut lower costs and sort of get ready for any sort of financial or economic storms that are coming. But it's tricky. Retail has to keep on evolving, so that's one of the other things too. So sort of pushing social media, it's very difficult online. Online is big, obviously, in most retail avenues, but soft furniture fabric is very tricky online, unless people are just searching to undercut, because you can't see color, texture, anything like that. So we're going to sort of maintain a more sort of personal shopper coming into the shop experience rather than that. But yeah, it's tricky, but we'll get through it, as we always do.
Yeah, great attitude. So that sort of leads us on to the next question quite nicely, potentially, in terms of the biggest lesson or biggest learning that you've had since being in business. You know, when you say we get through it,
yeah.
If there's one lesson that you can pull out that overrides all others to share, what would that be?
Well, I think the biggest lesson overall is just sort of staying on top of figures and staying on top of your business, really. But I think the biggest learning I had was in the financial crisis in 2008. I found that very hard mentally, and it was only when my son at the time was 12, I think, and it was only when I started to focus on him and realize that actually there are more important things than worrying about turnover and suppliers, etc., that allowed me to relax and look at it in a different way and then get through it. So sort of being able to take a step back from it was probably the biggest learning I had there. And it also means that in future periods where we get into difficult periods, I try to be more rational rather than emotional in looking at them, and that's probably helped me in the longer term. But I would still say having a complete overview of your business is the most important thing to learn.
Great, that's a good share. Thank you very much. Resonates well, and yeah, appreciate that. Makes a lot of sense. So in terms of giving advice to someone just starting out,
yeah,
is there a piece of advice that you would offer, again, maybe reflective of that financial figures and keeping an eye on
I think it depends on which area you're going into. If you are starting up a small business going into retail, it's different to sort of one going into sort of more technical areas or sort of more individually focused contracting areas or anything like that. When it comes to retail, that's obviously what I have.
Yeah, based on your experience, you would
I would say there was a very common strapline about profit being king and turnover being vanity, which is very important. But I would say, from my experience and my perspective in retail, the most important thing are your customers, and your PR and how you treat your customers is the thing that will keep them coming back. And for the business to carry on running, you need customers to come back, to recommend you to other people. Word of mouth is still the best form of advertising. So I would say focus on customers, and customer service is the most important thing.
Excellent, thank you. So what inspires you to do what you do? Is it those customers, or is it,
well, it
friends,
is
family, and
it is originally I apologize about the phone.
That's right.
Originally, in law, I wanted to go into criminal and civil, both of which are people focused, and my main focus is dealing with people. That's what I enjoy most. So what inspires me is obviously keeping the business successful, providing for my family, and making it an enjoyable experience for the customers that come in. The most satisfying thing is to see people getting excited when they come into your shop. So those are all the things that drive me. But fundamentally, obviously, success and providing for the family is the thing that drives the base, the core of my being and the shop.
Fantastic, thank you, good share again. So lastly, in terms of being able to share any latest news around what you're up to, or direct people to where we can find you,
yes,
the website, or latest news you want to share.
We do have a website called waltonsmillshop.co.uk. I also share on Instagram and Facebook through the Waltons Mill Shop page, etc. So I have to admit, I am not the best on social media. But it is an area that I'm building at the moment. So if anyone wants to join that, feel free to have a look, follow either Facebook or Instagram, etc. And pop in and see us. I'm quite happy to talk to anyone that comes and has any questions.
Fantastic. Thanks, Will. It's been an absolute pleasure talking with you. And
My
I wish you all the best with the future of the business.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Mike.